Okay, now this is going to just be a quick walkthrough of the code that was generated for the co-working space management application. So the best thing we can do to start out is take a look at our routes. So this is all isomorphic TanStack start code. So we can see all of our authenticated routes that require authentication. So you can see our announcements, bookings, bulletin, chat, companies, directories, dashboard, events, goals, knowledge base. You can see all of these files were created. Okay, so let's look at the knowledge base. Let's look at the index file. So this is our route file. And then we can kind of take a look at things. So we try to keep code very organized. So we use ShadCN, so you see a lot of ShadCN components imported. We take advantage of Zod and TanStack. And then we try to organize our query options as best as possible. So you'll notice that every query option goes into a folder. Go look at it. We have query keys using functions, factory functions, and then we have our query options. Then we can follow this to so this is our query options. So here is our server function that we're calling for TanStack start. We start all server functions with a $sign. This is just a paradigm that we've chosen to implement. So then we can go to that server function. You can see our auth middleware and our Zod validator for that function. And then we can come in, you see we get information about the authenticated user so we can get their org ID. And this is find knowledge base submissions for manage, okay? And so this comes into our query functions, not TanStack query, but our queries for our database. So you can see we use Drizzle ORM, and you can see we're using I think it's called the query API as much as possible. Sometimes on a more complicated query, we'll just use the raw select queries in Drizzle and just build out each individual query instead of using the query API. And so if we kind of look at our code, we can see we do have a schema file. So you can see that's your typical Drizzle ORM schema. So it's all going to be one file. And you'll notice that we try to use types as much as possible. So in this case, we have bulletin post category. So we have specific types that we choose, and we make sure that that gets cast there. At the very bottom of the file, you'll notice that we go ahead and export a lot of the types and derive that, so it's easily accessible throughout the code. And then we also have all the relationships defined in here. So this is the mapping of one and many type relationships. We generate a seed file. So this is just a seed. It'll help you run the application initially, just to get going. So you can see this is what was generated. It creates, for this application, it made membership plans, made a couple examples and memberships and access groups and so forth. Yeah, we try to keep everything organized as much as possible. So you'll notice that if we look at our queries folder, so we have mutations and options. So all your options functions. So we create hooks for each query, or use mutation. And you'll see that, so I can go find this in the routes. So you can see where it's used in 2 different places. So there's where it's used. And then, let's see here. On our database queries, well, we have 2 things. So we have our server functions. So those are all under server functions. So you'll see everything is grouped kind of by topic. So there's all your message ones. And then when we go to our database queries, we have, that'll be server DB queries. And so everything's, again, grouped by topic, and then everything is split between read and write. So all those queries are separated and well organized, so you can easily find any of the code. And the joys of TanStack is that you can easily navigate front to back using all the wonderful TypeScript utilities they have. So, and there you go. So that's just kind of a walkthrough of what the code we generate for you. Again, if you're interested in having an application generated, just reach out to us, and you can either reach us on Twitter, or you can reach us through our website at Zedrino.com. You can generate an application spec and request a quote.